Following the latest COVID-19 guidelines issued by the government of Sikkim, the footfall of tourism, which was gradually increasing in the Himalayan state after the COVID lockdown, has witnessed a sudden drop as 50% of advance bookings have been cancelled in the last 2 to 3 days. Well, in the latest guidelines released by the state, tourists shall be allowed to enter Sikkim if they are carrying a negative RTPCR test report conducted 72 hours prior to their arrival. In case a tourist fails to produce a negative report, the hotel, homestead owners and travel agents shall ensure that the tourist gets tested at specified testing facilities in the state. And speaking to Northeast Live, Sikkim Tourism Development Corporation Chairman Lukendro Razale said, with 50% of advance booking cancelled in last 2 to 3 days, the tourism graph seems to be declining in the state.
What we can see in India, the second wave, which is very rapid compared to last year. And recently the government of Sikkim has taken out a notification saying that an individual tourist must produce, RTPCR test, which should have taken within 72 hours from the date of journey or arrival. I was looking at the statistics of the Changu Lake, which every day, it was increasing about few days ago. It had reached about 700 to 800 vehicles per day. Similarly, in North Sikkim, there were 300, up to 300 vehicles were going. But so when this notification came out, and it has drastically come down to about 50%, the impact is so enormous. Like economic disaster is there for the tourism industry. Last 12 months, there was not much of a, business, and many people, they had to shock out a lot of money from the pocket to pay the rent or, all these things, salaries, plus many people had taken the hotels on lease. So basically it's a disaster economically, if we see, and which is creating a lot of unemployment now. 10th of October in 2020. From there on, so we have received about almost 5 lakh tourists. There was a growth. It had taken a good pace, and then like a lot of infrastructures were ready to cater to the needs of the tourists, and even these hotels, they had requested all the workers to come back, and they had joined the hotels. Now again, the second wave has destroyed their, all the dreams.
It needs to be mentioned here that ever since Sikkim opened its doors for tourists in October last year, the state has received nearly 5 lakh tourists. But with the recent COVID spike across the country, the same cannot be expected in the Himalayan state.
Following notification from the State Department saying all tourists are needed to be tested negative from the RTPCR, then only they will be allowed to enter Sikkim. This notification has now created a serious problem in tourism industry, because now the maximum bookings of the travel are being seriously cancelled by the tourists, and they are not able, they don't wanted to come due to this. So this has caused a serious problem. And similarly, must tell here that in last 5 months after the opening of the tourists, Sikkim has received 5 lakh tourists, which is huge number. But now again the threat looms in the tourism industry after 1 year of COVID-19 pandemic. Win cameraman Binod Tamong, Sujal Pradhan, Sikkim.